Hello everybody and welcome to a special behind the scenes look at what goes into creating an AZ Off-Road special. Now today we're going to be talking about our most recent trip, which is the Arizona Strip trip. So if you haven't seen that video, definitely go back and watch that first. Highly recommend seeing that before you see this video, which will kind of aim to go into the whole process of what happens on our side of it, you know, behind the scenes. So, and that's the point of this video, is to walk through every step of the production from research and planning all the way up through the trip, when we go on the trip, come back, all the post-production work, and ultimately publishing the video on our website and on YouTube. So if that process intrigues you in the slightest, you want to see what we do, what we use, definitely stick around and find out what it takes to make an AZ Off-Road special. And what better place to start than at the very beginning. Today is February the 28th, 2017. We got about 3 months to go until the trip actually happens. And as of right now, we don't even have dates set yet. That'll hopefully be remedied here in the next couple of weeks, but we're just gonna roll with the planning and at least get a route picked out. And that is where this big map right behind me comes into play, into determining where we go in the first place. So the first phase in determining where we are going on a trip is to look at this map and to figure out where realistically can we go, or we can spend 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 days doing something that's both fun for us and something that not everyone does. So last year we did El Camino del Diablo, which is down in that part of the state. A really good 3-day trip. The year before we did a trip from Phoenix all the way to the bottom of the Grand Canyon, using as much off-road trails as possible. That was a good trip. But what I'm kind of thinking for this trip is to do something that really isn't well published. In fact, not a lot of books even scratch the surface. What I'm talking about, of course, is the Arizona Strip, which basically covers the area north of the Grand Canyon, all the way from Page, which is like right up there, all the way to the Nevada border and Las Vegas. So that is what we are considering for our trip, and it's quite a haul from our house. It's about a 5-hour drive, but we'll be looking to spend about 4 to 5 days crossing that, and it should be pretty fun. So now that we have decided a general idea of where we want to go, we basically hop into Google Earth and we begin to create waypoints. Now we basically prioritize them on points we want to see first. So on this trip, we're talking about, you know, White Pocket, the north rim of the Grand Canyon. There is a cabin in there we want to stay the night at, and there's a few other trails and scenic points we want to hit. So what we do is we hop into Google Earth and basically just start mapping these places out. So we already have a few waypoints in here. So we have all those points I mentioned are already marked on the map, and basically from there we just go about linking all of them together. So our goal is ultimately to hit all of them, and because it's the Arizona Strip, there's not a lot of paved roads to begin with, so that's good for us because we do want to try and stick to backcountry roads and 4-wheel drive if we can. So anyway, that is basically the extent of the research we do. Now this process takes several hours to several days, depending, you know, how quickly we find the route. In this case, this was a pretty intricate setup. We'll be spending 4 nights in the area, so you know that'll be a 5-day trip. So that's gonna be a pretty long one, and basically have to plan out food, gas, water, where we're camping, what we're doing during the day. All that takes time, but got everything planned and mapped out now, and we basically have to wait till the trip gets closer. We'll get all the stuff booked, the cabin booked, hotels booked, whatever we need to in the next few days, and basically just get everything locked down and wait for the trip to come. Today is Tuesday, April 4th. It has been a little while since our last update. But we do have good news, and that is we actually have solid dates locked down for the trip. In the last update, where we were just getting started on the planning of everything, we had no clue when it was going to happen. But my cousin has bought his tickets out here, and we have produced the official itinerary here that I hold in my hands, which means that this trip is locked down and pretty much ready to go. In this packet, it's 17 pages long, but it has everything from the route and the itinerary, some maps, supply list, the gear list, stuff we need to be worried about and bring with us, and pretty much carry this as our field guide when we're out on the road. We'll be covering over 1,000 miles, so this is going to be our biggest trip yet. But we have some pretty awesome stuff planned, and again, every single detail has been planned out, spending hours and hours in Google Earth, poring over books and actual hard copies of maps, and just making sure that this is a worthwhile trip and we see some really cool stuff. So I'm really excited about it. Lots of really cool stuff. I've never been to this place, this region in Arizona, so it definitely is going to be interesting. So since the last update, obviously we had all that done, but we've also secured the booking. That is the reservation for the cabin. That is the reservation for Vegas. And the other 3 nights, I believe, is what we will be spending camping. So we don't need reservations for that. But yeah, we are one step closer. And this is only some of the gear. We still have a lot more to pack. But that's a good chunk of it there. 12, 14 gallons of water to drink. 5 gallons for dishes and hand washing and whatever else. And we're bringing 10 gallons of gas on certain parts of the trip. And this here is our shopping list. We're about to head to the store. It is the night before the trip. Last minute, rushing around, getting everything ready. But we leave tomorrow about 9 a.m. It's currently about 9 p.m. But what's new? What's life without a little rush? So, yep, here we go. The adventure is officially beginning. Check, check, check. Test 1, 2, check.
Test 1, 2.
Perfect. See? 3, 2, 1. We are back.
Look at Chef Daniel. This guy.
Ah, look at the mud. Look at the mud. It's beautiful. It doesn't smell like mud, I'll tell you that much. And poor GoPro. GoPro's seen better days. Look at that. Wow. Oh my God, look at this place. Wow, okay. This ain't too bad.
Where's the outhouse?
That's a good question. Wow, an actual bed. We get to sleep on a bed tonight.
Now, are you going up or?
Probably, because that space looks ridiculously small. Yeah, no, I'm going up top. It's also
cool, so I might have to leave.
It's gonna be warmer up top too, remember. Alright, let's explore the outside, shall we? Or actually, yeah. So if you are wondering what we use to film all our drone video, this is it. This is the DJI Phantom 3 Professional Edition. Now, This thing flies for about 20 to 23 minutes on one battery. Got several batteries with us, and it shoots up to 4K resolution. And we get to see everything that it films and all the statistics about the flight right here on my phone, which is mounted to the controller. But it produces some killer footage and has really been a huge asset to us as we travel around to these really cool places, because they look just totally different from the air. It's a totally new perspective, and absolutely love this thing. No complaints whatsoever. Alright, so we are back now from the trip. A couple days after the big adventure. Really happy with the way everything turned out. Trip went great. We had an awesome time, saw everything we wanted to, and so much more. But just because we are back home does not mean that the work is over. And as you can see here, the garage is full of just some of the stuff that came out of the Jeep. Of course, we need to pack all this away, clean it up, put it away for the next adventure, and then the Jeep is a whole nother story. Totally muddy. Got to get it cleaned up, vacuumed out, reset back to normal. Anyways, cousin Daniel is back in Ohio now. He flew out this morning, and the next phase is really to just get all this organized and cleaned. And of course, the next step in the process is the post-production, where we begin to comb through the footage, get things put in order, edited, recorded, whatever else we need to do, and begin compiling the final edit. Of course, that all is coming up. This is a little bit more important right now, and yeah, this is it. This is behind the scenes of the madness that is following the trip. And again, this is not everything. There was a lot of stuff already put away, a lot of luggage and camera gear that's already made it inside. But you know, this is some of our emergency equipment we take. Lots of water still left over. Actually, we ended up bringing about, I think it was 12 to 14 gallons, and got about 6 to 7 gallons left there. Anyways, a couple gas cans. This one actually ended up being busted. As you can see, the tape fix didn't really work, so we ended up only having about 8 extra gallons of fuel on the trip. But it wasn't an issue, we made it fine. There is all our extra food, the camp box, and yeah, that's about it for this phase of the trip. Kind of just resetting, getting back to normal, and then we will move into the post-production phase of the Arizona Strip trip. Alright, so we are moving into the post-production phase of the trip, and basically getting everything copied off of all the cameras. It takes quite some time because we have an absolute crap ton of memory cards, and this trip, basically this trip we got a ton of footage. Here you can see basically how we sort everything out. We have the drone video, GoPro video, time lapses, normal pictures, and then at the bottom of this is all the video from the DSLR we shoot with. And all that adds up to a blistering 154 gigabytes from this trip. That might be a new record, not entirely sure, but we definitely took a lot of pictures. In fact, let's get a count on that. See just how many pictures we have. Alright, and the grand total is only 765 pictures. Of course, you saw there a second ago there was about 3,000 files, which means we shot a ton of GoPro footage, drone footage, all the other fun stuff. But this is the next phase, getting all this pulled off, putting it in a safe place. Luckily have the 3 terabyte hard drive there to store everything from many trips, and then we'll just edit right off that. Anyways, getting started with all that, the next step will be to type up the trip summary, which we will use as kind of a go-to script for the trip. Recorded that into voiceovers and then begin the edit, which again, that is the most time intensive. But it is all a process, one step at a time, and this is probably one of my favorite parts, is just copying everything off, looking through, seeing what we got, making sure everything is good. And again, very excited with how this trip turned out. We got lots of great footage, lots of fun stuff. Can't wait to jump into the edit studio and begin to sort this out. We are back behind the scenes of the Arizona Strip trip. Now, we're still in the post-production phase of the edit right now, and basically the next step is to record the voiceover. As you can see here, the trip summary is completely written up. Everything that we have to talk about and say is listed here, color-coded by who's going to be saying it, reading it off for the video. Now, this same document is actually posted, or will be posted by the time this video is published on our website, and this is what's used for the trip summary. So we edited a little bit. There's a little bit of variation between what goes in the video and what goes online, but essentially the same stuff, and we use it to build the write-up as well as record the voiceover, which ultimately will be used in the video. So anyways, I have done testing on the best environment for sound, and I have found that right here in a car is actually one of the best spots. So we're in here, we got our microphone, down here is the laptop hooked up, got a pair of headphones so we can listen back to the audio. Of course, got a nice tasty beverage in case it gets a little parched. So anyways, we're gonna get recording the voiceover and on to the next phase. After this is done, we'll be mixing the audio together and basically getting ready to do the edit, which is the last step, but also probably the most intense step. So my cousin Daniel's back at home. He already did his part. Time to get my part done so we can get rolling with the edit.
And just a couple miles south of the Utah border. Today, we continue our journey as we explore more of White Pocket and head west to the north rim of the Grand Canyon.
We are finally moving into the last part of the entire production process, which is the editing, the trimming of the rough cut and the final cut. Now today is July 17th. It is about a month and a half after the trip. So in this final part of the process is really where the magic happens, where everything comes together and comes into what makes up the YouTube video, the article, everything that goes on our website. So before I went out of town and went to the East Coast, I was working on color grading drone footage. I edited all the drone footage we shot on the trip in a program called DaVinci Resolve to make it look really nice, make it look great for the video. And also I mixed all the audio recordings that me and Daniel did, and I of course had to make the map, which we do from scratch to avoid any copyright issues. So went into the photo editor to make the map. So all that was done before I went out of town. Now that I'm back, we are jumping into the editor itself to basically chop everything up, slice and dice, make it look really pretty, make it flow, make it look really great. So what we use to make the video is a program called Pinnacle Studio 20 Ultimate Edition. Now, it's not the best editor in the world, it's not the most expensive, I know that, but it's the one I used from the very beginning. So it's one that I'm very familiar with, and I'm able to be the most efficient with this one for now. So we use this, and this is where we drag all of the footage from stuff we shot on the trip, stuff that was created for the video, the map, all the audio, and all the corrected footage, photos, whatever else we need. We drag it from the folders on all our hard drives and everything into the editor, and that is where you can see that everything is beginning to take shape. Now, it is July 17th, and we are nearly done with part 3 of the rough cut. Now, this is going to be a 5-part special, which is our biggest to date, which is why it takes a long time. Now, another reason this process takes such a long time is that my general rule of thumb is that for every minute of final footage you see on YouTube or anywhere else, it takes about an hour of post-production work to get that done. So in this case, we're shooting a 5-part special, averaging about 10 minutes a special. That's about 50 minutes of final footage, which in the end results in 50 hours or more of editing work. So not an easy process. That's why there's always a huge delay between when we actually go on the trip and when the footage is released. Now, this process for this trip in particular has gone a lot faster than normal, probably because of other commitments and deadlines. I'm also really excited to share what this trip has to offer. Now, what we used to edit, up until this point, every video, every special on the website has been edited on my Samsung Ultrabook laptop. So I'd sit here at my desk, work on the laptop, plug hard drives in, plug them out, do everything, restart the laptop a bunch of times, and it was getting a little bit slow. It couldn't really handle the workload. So this is the first time I am using a new computer. It is a custom-built rig that is designed for video editing, for light gaming, whatever else I need it for, but this is the first time the rig has debuted, and it is really helping to make this whole process a lot quicker. It has a lot of processing power. Basically, the general specs behind the rig: it has an i7 processor, 16 gigs of RAM, 500 gig SSD, 1 terabyte hard drive, liquid cooled, all the bells and whistles to really keep it fast, be able to chew through this video processing that we're doing. So we are about halfway through the rough cuts, and then after this we will do any final trimming, adjust the audio levels till they're just right, give it a good watch back, and then export it, which means that it is one step closer to YouTube. So after that, we will catch back up on the process. This is just a quick update on the goings-on of what is happening now in the process, which is really the bulky grunt work behind the video, but really is rewarding work because you get to pick and choose, how this comes together. It's really fun to kind of go back and watch what we did on the trip, what gets to make it to the video, what gets to make it to the behind the scenes, and what doesn't make the cut, period. So that is that. We will catch back up after the final cuts, or at least 2 to 3 out of the 5 are done, because that's when we will start to upload to YouTube and start releasing them, because we release them every week. So normally I like to have all of the parts done before I upload the series, but in this case, because it is such a long project, I feel comfortable just getting the first part done. It'll take a couple weeks for those to release, and then catch back up on the rest. So we will catch back up on the exporting and the very final portion of this video. So we'll see you then. We are moving on to the very last part of the post-production work now. Today is July 31st, last day of the month, and we are about done with the Arizona Strip trip content, which is very exciting. Now, we just finished exporting the first 4 out of the 5 trip videos, so all those are completely done now. They are mixed well, all the colors right, all the clips are good, the length is just right. Totally done, very happy with them. Watched them back, they're great. And they actually are uploading to YouTube as we speak now. Speaking of YouTube, a preview video for the trip went live today, announcing that the series will begin this coming Friday, which is August 4th, which when you watch this will actually be in the past, which is confusing, but nevertheless, 4 out of the 5 videos are done. We will be moving on to the 5th video very soon, getting that done. But basically, I wanted to get as much done as possible before I started to release them. That way I could make sure to meet that deadline every single week when the videos go live. So anyways, I hope that this video kind of helped portray a little bit of the backstory and the process of what happens on our end of the trip. Because when you see it on YouTube, it looks great, it's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun going on the trips, but it really doesn't do justice to everything that goes into the whole entire process, which by now you have seen from the very initial concept all the way up through the research and planning and the reservations and actually going on the trip, what actually happens behind camera, so to speak, what goes on into the execution of the trip, coming back, and all the post-production work, the editing, the exporting, and the ultimately clicking publish on that YouTube button and the video goes live. So let us know what you think about these behind the scenes videos. Definitely not going to be a regular thing on this channel. Just wanted to show you a little bit of what goes into making these AZ Off-Road specials, which again are a bit more time consuming than any other video we do, which is why we only do it once a year. Maybe we'll try and step it up in the future, once, twice, maybe 3 times a year. But a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of resources go into these awesome trips, which we enjoy doing, and we very much appreciate you guys watching them. So let us know what you think about this behind the scenes thing, if we should do it on the next trip. If not, either way, thank you so much for watching all of these specials on this Arizona strip trip, and thank you for tuning in for this bonus behind the scenes special. That's going to be a wrap on our end, so thank you guys for watching this video, and we will see you on the next adventure.